Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon based upon your location. My name is Avinash and welcome everyone to Citrix Application Delivery Management Service monthly webinar for November 2021. Who are all online today? I'm your host and panelist Avinash. I'm from the Citrix ADM PM team itself, and my fellow colleague Neha Harit, she is also from the ADM PM team, and my colleague Rahul, who is from the ADM PM team, as sorry, from the Citrix product management, but from the different product line. So, what is the agenda for today? Today, I'm going to first take you through the overview of ADM service, wherein I would be talking for the new joinees to guide them what are the quick ways to onboard and the easiest way to onboard the ADM service, and then what are the different flavors of licenses which are available for the people to experience the ADM service. The second will be the detecting account takeover for the Citrix Gateway. It's a very good use case which my colleague Rahul will be taking us through and guiding us and talking about the importance of it and with a demonstration. The third would be the latest security advisory support for the CVE which has been released on 9th of November, and Neha will be covering over this. The fourth point would be the app slowness RCA improvements, where I will be talking about the Web Insight app slowness RCA improvements and what all things has been improved there in that section. And the last one will be the basics or the primer section, where I will be covering network function as has been covering over last few months in previous webinars. So with this, let's quickly talk about how we can jumpstart onto the ADM service in 3 quick steps. First, you have to open a Citrix Cloud account. As soon as it is open, you can select the ADM service. Once you select the ADM service, you have to just select the built-in agent, which is a lightweight agent, wherein the third step, all you have to do is to copy the service URL and activation code and get it onto your ADCs, provide these, and your ADCs will be discovered onto the ADM service to experience all the functionalities. What are the advantages of the ADM service? First, it is agile, which means it's very easy to operate. All the latest updates and everything will come as it is managed by Citrix. There are no hassles of HA. Being a cloud deployment, there is no hassle of HA or DR, and we don't have to worry about those. Second one is the faster time to value, which means, as I have been demonstrating, within very few clicks you will be easily onboarding all your ADCs of your enterprise, and you can start viewing all the required and start utilizing all the required features. Third point, it has a very state of art advanced machine learning, wherein based on the all the data statistics being gathered for a particular entities, be it a LB or a GSLB or a content switch or a gateway, you have an advanced machine learning where it shows all the data collated and show you all the prediction on how the performance of that particular application is. Fourth, it has a very low operational cost where it requires very less time and money and resources to manage. Fifth, pretty much any ADC environment right now today is supported over ADM, be it a public cloud, be it your on-prem ADC deployments, or it is a hybrid. Last, any type of application is supported, whether it is a classic monolithic applications or your microservices based platform. Now, as I have talked about the advantages, now let's see what are the different flavors of license which we have. To start with, ADM comes by default with a freemium version of license which we call as an express tier. With the express tier, what all you get. Now, as we know previously, we had a limitation to only experience couple of network function and network reporting for a couple of virtual servers. Now it has been opened for all the V servers, meaning what? If you have a number of ADCs with a number of virtual servers, everything can be discovered and maintained and managed from and monitored from the ADM service. Other thing we have opened is down there are no limitations over the configuration jobs or style book configuration packs, which was earlier limited to only two. However, the analytics still stays as two virtual server for which you can experience the analytics capability as well as the ML features which I was talking about. Once you're satisfied with this experience of ADM service and you want to use really for other analytics and use and utilize more, you can jump to advanced. Before I talk about other things on the advanced, other thing I want to highlight here is the data retention. So with the express tier, you get a data retention of 500 MB max or one day data, whichever is lesser. So as I was saying about the advanced tier, with the advanced tier, you can actually go ahead and buy this advanced tier licenses based upon the number of virtual server license used or required by you. And you can use it for HDX, Gateway Insight, Web and SSL Insight, App Dashboard, ML based app security analytics, and whatnot. In case you feel that with all the virtual servers, the data retention you are looking out for, your storage requirement is more, yeah, we have a separate SKU where you can enlarge your data requirement or increase your data storage by using the separate storage SKU. Okay, with this, I will pass on the session to Rahul. Rahul will take us through the session about the account takeover. So Rahul, over to you.
Thank you, Avinash. Hope I'm audible. Could you
Yes,
just
you
make
are.
me the presenter, Avinash? And
Sure,
I'll start sharing my.
sure. So you should be now presenter.
Got it. Yeah, and I'm just going to put it in full screen mode. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Rahul, and I'm part of the application security product management team here at Citrix. And in this section, we're doing a quick recap on one of the key login page protection use case that we deliver via ADM service, which is account takeover detection on Citrix Gateway login page. Now, we have gone over the various AI ML based AppSec protections that we have on our ADM service in our early monthly webinars earlier this year. These included advanced bot and WAF protection, such as detecting excessive client connections, detecting unusually large download or upload volume or transaction of content, detecting web account takeover, detecting content scraping sessions, and many, many more. All of these behavior-based violations are available, detections are available on ADM service and are listed here on this slide. And in this session, we will dig a little deeper into the account takeover detections for Citrix Gateway login page. But first, let's answer the question, what is account takeover and why we need account takeover protection on Citrix Gateway? Account takeover, also known as ATO, is a type of identity theft where a bad actor gains unauthorized access to an online account belonging to someone else. Now, to achieve this, attackers use bots and they use brute force to log into the page. There are typically two ways of doing this: credential stuffing, where credentials obtained from dark web or other data breaches are tried against the application in a hope that user may have reused the same username password combination on that application too. Second is password spraying, where an attacker try to get into the account by trying commonly used passwords, ABCD, password 123, things of that sort, assuming that the user is too lazy to create a strong password. A simple Google search will give you a list of commonly used passwords. Now, like any other public-facing login page, Citrix Gateway page is vulnerable to bots and bots trying to do an account takeover. In fact, we have detected account takeover anomalies on Gateway login page in over 100 customers. And that's one of the reasons I want to. Over the last few months, based on the real world data that we've been receiving, our data science team have fine-tuned the models, adding more signals to improve accuracy and reduce false positive. Now, let's look at the configuration. As you can see here, it is very easy to enable this protection, this particular use case. Unlike other ML use cases where you need to create a behavior-based profile. In case of enabling account takeover for gateway login page, there are only two things that are needed, two prerequisites. One, you need to have your Citrix ADC gateway discovered on your ADM service. Second, you need to enable gateway insights. Now, gateway insights can be enabled very easily on ADM service by going into the edit analytics portion and just enabling the Citrix gateway checkbox. Now, the reason why we need gateway insight is with gateway insights, we get to know what is the result of an authentication session, if that particular authentication was a success or a failure. And this particular result is fed into the ML model that runs on ADM service, which then helps in detecting if an account takeover attempt is in play or not. So it's really straightforward. In fact, most of these prerequisites may already be enabled at your setup. Now, once that is enabled, let's look at the model characteristic. So once the prerequisites are met, there is a bootstrap time of 2 weeks. Now, what does this 2-week mean? This is the learn period. During this 2 weeks, the data is ingested by the ML model and starts building out its prediction. And after this 2 weeks is when violations are flagged off, anomalies are flagged if there is one. Now, the training frequency is daily. That means the models are updated every day, and the anomaly detection frequency is at an hour. So all the anomalies that we have detected over 1 hour of time is displayed together. We're also working towards increasing this detection frequency, and we'll have a session on it in the later webinars where we improve our anomaly detection frequency. So what is the call to action? So first, if you have not enabled gateway insights for your ADC gateways that are discovered on ADM service, please go ahead and do that. And with that, you will start seeing anomalies on your security violations page. So once you have the prerequisites set up, please go to the security violations page on ADM service, where you will start viewing anomalies if there are any against your gateway account takeover. Now, once you detect an anomaly, what do you do next? Typically, what we have seen interacting with a lot of other customers is they start involving their SecOps team if there is a separate team, so that the SecOps team can then do further analysis. The SecOps, it's good to discuss this with SecOps team to understand if there was an internal pen test or some other activity that they may have conducted, which may have flagged this anomaly. Now, our discussions with SecOps team also revealed one thing, that the SecOps team use SIEM as a single pane of window to view their anomalies. So, for example, if they're using Splunk, they would want to view the anomalies on Splunk. Now, in ADM service, we do have the ability to export all of the AppSec violations, including the account takeover on gateway violation, to Splunk. So, if that's not already configured, please go ahead and configure that so that it becomes easier for the SecOps team, and the visibility is available with the SecOps team. Now, let me just go ahead and show a demo of how to visualize this account takeover for gateway anomalies. I'm on the ADM service UI, and I'm under the security violations page. So under security, there's a security violations page, and this is the page where you can see all the different violations in your environment. Two ways of looking at it. You can either go to application overview, which gives an application first focused view. So it gives a list of all the applications and the different violations that are affected against each application. Or if you want to view a holistic or see a holistic picture of all the violations in your environment, you can go ahead and click on all violations. And this will list out all the violations, as you can see here on the left-hand side. And when you click on each of the violation, you can also figure out what are the different applications that are affected. Now, I've clicked on account takeover for Citrix gateway violation, and you can see that there is a behavior-based tag on the right-hand side corner of this box. This indicates that this particular anomaly was detected using the ML models running on ADM service. Now, once you click on this particular anomaly, you can see when the violation happened, how many times has it occurred, and you also get a drop down to view the different gateways where account takeover was detected. You can zoom into the graph, and you can see that the purple line indicates failed logins, whereas the blue line indicates successful logins. As I mentioned earlier, in a typical account takeover attempt, there will be the attackers are trying to brute force into the login page, so you're bound to see a lot of failed logins. And as you can see here, when we detect a lot of failed logins, our models have also marked it as an account takeover attempt. You can also get details on the account takeover, the IP addresses that were part of this attack by clicking on View Bad Client IP Addresses, which will open up a separate window pane and give details on the time, the client IP address which was involved in this particular violation, and the reason why it was flagged as a violation. For example, if you take the first one out here, we can see that this particular IP address tried to log in over 162 times, and all of these attempts were a failure. So that is something suspicious, and that's the reason why our models have flagged it as an account takeover attempt. So this is what I wanted to cover. And we've seen that a lot of our customers have benefited from this use case. They've enabled account takeover protection on gateway login pages, and we've been getting some really good feedback. And that's the primary reason why I wanted to go over this use case again.
Yeah, we are not able to hear you in case you're on mute.
Sorry, I was talking on mute. Hi everyone, I'm Neha. I'm part of product management team taking care of ADM mainly. I'm going to take you through security advisory support for the latest 9th November CVE that has come out. What is security advisory? Let's touch through some basics on this. We have taken and covered security advisory in the past, but let me just quickly touch upon the key points here. It helps you first and foremost assess the security posture. We do version config and some specific custom scans to identify which ADC is vulnerable. There are on-demand scans also available if you want to trigger the scan again for a newly discovered ADC at a particular point in time. With that, you will know vulnerable ADC inventory. You have two ways to view the data. CV impact on ADC analysis, that is, we will show you the CV listed name and the number of ADC impacted. And we will also give you flip view of number of ADCs listed and how many CVs impact them. We'll take you through how it shows up on the UI. Next is the remediation. Once you have identified, you can clearly see the ADC is impacted. There's a clear option for you to upgrade to remediate the CVE identified or execute the configuration over config job. Not all the CVs need a specific config changes. Most of them will be solved over an upgrade. In the end, what we give you is a one-stop solution for all of your CV related details, audit trail, and any information of the last scans done. Now, the key remediation focus is upgrade, which essentially helps you reduce time and effort invested on ADC upgrade when you use ADM service. There's a lot that we do in ADM to give you the flexibility and custom control to upgrade your inventory. You can upgrade any kind of standalone HA or cluster, upgrade them parallelly, not having to wait for a sequential execution, backup of your ADC instance before starting upgrade, have an option of upgrading now or schedule it later. You can plan it in 2 stages or 1 stage. Essentially, if you want to split the upgrade of primary and secondary, you can do that. There are some pre-built-in checks that we have, which will help you assess if there's something basic missing from the upgrade point of view. Cleanup of the ADC disk space at the time of upgrade. Execute custom scripts for additional pre and post upgrade check. A lot of our customers do it. The specifics that you see here, all of these are customers ask who have over the time evolved this functionality to a level wherein so many of our customers are upgrading hundreds of their ADC using this feature. You will also be able to get a difference report. Sorry about that. Difference report on pre and post upgrade custom script. Disassociate image upload time from actual upgrade activity. You can save ADC configuration before starting the upgrade. We have introduced ISSU, which is in-service software upgrade, which helps you eliminate downtime on your ADC data traffic. Since we have the resource library integrated, you do not have to download the firmware from download site and upgrade. In the status of primary and secondary HA node after upgrade, or to delete the upgrade software firmware from ADC after successful upgrade. And then towards the end, you get the detailed execution report. All of these things, and which are still evolving as to our customer ask, is one of the most heavily used functionality on ADM today. These are the CVEs which have recently been announced. 22955 and 22956. These are the resources. I'm going to take you through the demo, and we'll post these resources once we are done with my section, so that you can go over the specific details and take certain actions. So when you see here, under infrastructure security advisory, you have 3 CVs which are impacting your ADC inventory. And 7 ADC instances are impacted by all the 3 CVEs. This is a CVE view. We list all the CVs which are identified, their severity, some more details, and the remediation step. If you see here, the step 1 is upgrade, and step 2 is specific config changes which needs to be done on ADC. This one is just upgrade, and the other one is also just upgrade. So let me select this one and view the instances. Over here, I see one instance. If I select to proceed to config job workflow, I will see the selected specific configurations which needs to be executed. You don't have to worry, copy paste, do anything. Just provide the input and you're done. And if you want to upgrade your ADC instances, just select, go with all the options that we have, provide specifics. If you don't want, we'll take up defaults, and you'll be able to you'll be done with the upgrade option as well. It's very simple, straightforward, at the same time customized for you and giving you flexibility to remediate all the CVEs using upgrade and config workflow. Thank you so much. That is all I had. I will hand over the control to Avinash, who will be the next presenter.
As I was talking about the Web Insight RC improvements, there are a couple of improvements. As we know that this app, slowness RCA dashboard is used for is basically an ML based detection or analysis of your app performance, where it checks and shows you and helps the operator or administrator to understand where the essentially issue can lie, or provide a hint towards it, rather, to see if whether there is an issue at the client side, at the servers, at the ADC processing side, or at the server side. So there will be various indicators which show that. So to that dashboard, we have made a couple of improvements, wherein under the anomaly dashboard, we have under the client network latency, now we have given the added option of searching for the client IPs and to export that data which shows in the client network latency. Same goes with the server network latency. There you can search with the list of servers which is showing under the anomalous, which are performing anomalous behavior with respect to processing time and whatnot. And you can also export that data. And so same goes for the server processing time. So how it looks now. So if you go into applications, Web Insight applications, and then into the select the particular application under the anomaly. and details of an application, you will see the various matrices where we have made the improvement under the client network latency, the server network latency, and the server processing time. Once you select that, you have now the option here, as I've highlighted, to search with the particular client IP. And if you want to export this anomaly details report, you have an option with the download CSV, which is shown as the export option and highlighted there in the box. So with this, let me quickly run through and demonstrate how does it look. In order to do that, on the ADM service dashboard, you have to go into the application website, web insight. Within the web insight, as soon as you land here, it will show you the application with response time anomalies. You can select the day, time period of your preference, like I have selected for last 1 day. Select the application. It will take us to the dashboard where it shows the how the application has performed over a period of the last 24 hours, and what are the various anomalies and the count of those which are observed, whether it at the client network latency, server network latency, or the processing time. So within this client network latency, as you see, if I have selected, it shows me the graph for this, and in the bottom you see the anomaly details. This is where we have done the improvements. Now you can actually select the client IP address and you can filter for a particular client IP, and you can get the count, and you can see the all the details when and what are the anomalies which were observed under that network latency for that client. Along with that, if you want, you can click and you can download that as well. So same goes for under the server network latency, as I was highlighting. You can have that option. Now you have that option here to select the server IP address. Same goes into the server processing time as well. There also you have the option to filter with the server processing, and you can anytime download this as well. So if you see here in the next, I have downloaded and captured the screenshot of that CSV. I downloaded for the client, for a particular client, and if you see, it will show you the sample time and what were the latency observed for that particular client at a set time. And in case you want to download the entire report, you can just do an unfiltered view and you can download this. So with this, I will quickly launch a poll for everyone to understand how this, if this improvement will help you while using the app slowness RCA dashboard. With this, let me just share my screen again back, and we'll start with the next session where I will be taking you through the primer. Okay. Fine. So the next is the network functions. This is one of the very useful feature on and mostly used feature on the ADM service ADM service, wherein as soon as your ADCs are discovered, whether it is through a dedicated agent or a lightweight agent or a inbuilt agent, as I was demonstrating at the very start. Once your all virtual servers are discovered, you can quickly start looking out and get all the details of all the entities, whether it is a LBV server, content switch V server, Citrix gateways, GSLB V servers, different type of all entities you have configured. You have a quick shot a snap available for all those report where you can go and do a lot of tasks. So what all is available at the first dashboard? So as I said, right, it's a centralized dashboard on the ADM service where you can monitor, and few of the features or few of the statistics you can view at the glance is like the transaction details, the connection details, and the throughputs. So what are various dashboards which are available? You will have a top 5 virtual servers with the highest client connections and with the highest server connections, or with having the maximum throughput in terms of utilization, which vServer is the highest utilizer. Then you will have even the virtual servers, top 5 virtual servers which are lowest in terms of utilization or the throughput. Then you will have the top 5 instances with the most virtual servers. Then you will have the pie chart where it shows the state of the virtual servers, what are the health of the virtual servers, what are different type of protocols for which virtual servers has been configured, and you can have a segregated view, and you can filter it and see if you want to segregate with the HTTP type of vServer, SSL vServer, or a TCP vServer, or whatever you have configured there. Then you have the options to have a quick view on what are different types of load balancing methods which are configured and what are the different type of persistency. So with this, I will quickly take you to the walkthrough or the demo of it, and there we will talk in detail about all these features, this dashboard and various other functions there. Okay, so to do that, on the ADM service dashboard, you have to go to infrastructure, network functions. Here within the network functions dashboard, as I was saying, you get the first glimpse of all this information on the very first page, where you see the details of the top 5 virtual servers with the highest client connection, the top 5 virtual server with the highest server connections, with max throughput, min throughput, top 5 B servers, and then you have the, as I was stating, that you will have the details of all the LV servers and its corresponding state. In case you want to have that filtered view, you can come here and click on that particular uh, number where it shows the total number of vServers, and it will show you the details of all the instances which are discovered from the ADC from on the ADM service and its corresponding LBV servers kind of protocol they are using. So this is basically a holistic view for everything which is discovered on from the virtual server front. It will show you the health. So you might be seeing, health being 50 or 40, 80 depending upon number of servers and how many are up and how many are down. Based on that, the percentages are calculated. And then you have the v servers IP address and the port details. Couple of tabs or the functionalities which you see here is which is as basic as enabling or disabling the virtual servers. You can check the bound services for that particular LBV server or a GSLBV server, and you can even do a poll now. This other portions I will be talking in another sections where it will help you understand better. And of course, one thing I wanted to highlight here is this button, which is a export button, and this button pretty much you will see it at the every part of the network function, whether you're going through load balancing, content switch, and other entities, which I will be covering in short while. So coming back to the main page, here if you see, we have couple of toggles which I want to talk about. First one is the poll now. So what poll now is used for? So before I touch that, I just wanted to highlight that as soon as the ADCs are discovered onto the ADM service, ADM starts polling the instances and get the all the entity details from it. This polling interval is a 60-minute polling interval. Meaning what? Let's say, for example, if you have added a ADC discovered just now, within, and if the polling has happened just a minute back, you have to wait for another 55 minutes for all the V servers and all the entity which you have configured on the ADC to start reflecting here. In case you want to get it reflected immediately, you can go here, go to the poll now. In case you want to do all the instances, you can just do the start polling, or you can select that particular instance and you can click on poll now. And it will poll all the entity and all the details for that ADC. So I would be just showing you this. So it will take some time. So for a time being, I'm just canceling this. So as it says in the background, it will be doing that. The other option here you see is the generate report. Now this report function, generate report function, which is available here versus the export report. I would highlight some of the differences. So generate report is a place where uh, you can download the reports. Uh, let's say, for example, you have a content switch virtual server on which you have an authentication bind point, and there are certain target LBB servers, which is again load balancing between list of services which are configured under the service group. Now, this here you can just select all those entities which are used to serve that particular user and application traffic. You can select all those entities, and what it does is once the report is generated, you will have a view where it will show the in the column, this is the content switch v server, followed by what are the target LBV servers, what are the authentication points, what are the backend services which are bound. So it gives in a one report. You have all the data available with you. In case you don't want that, you just select the LB and it will just show you the LB with the service group bindings detail. Now, these kind of reports, if you want, you can always schedule this. This scheduling option and export now option is available pretty much across every network functions feature under whether it is LB or any other entity you are selecting it. So what you can do, you can enable the schedule based on the reoccurrence, whether you want it on a daily or a weekly or a monthly basis. What is the time when you want to export and what are the channels? Two channels which are available today is email and a Slack. You can configure those here. Now, let's talk about this export. This export is more on the dashboard which you're seeing here, and if you want to export in a graphical format, you have the option to export in two format, whether you want to do it in a PDF or you want to do it in a tabular format. So as you see here, since it's a combination of multiple dashboard in a graphical format, you might not get the option here to export in a tabular. All you can get is a snapshot in a PDF or a JPEG or a PNG format to be shared across as desired. This report also you can always schedule as well. As I have been explaining, you can schedule it based on the time of your choice and the channel of your choice. So with this, let's talk about the various entity dashboards which we have available. First, we will be talking, or I will be covering you through is the load balancing dashboard. Here, as soon as we land on the load balancing dashboard, you will see the virtual servers, services, service groups, and servers having different table dashboards available for them, where it shows the all the LBV servers or services service groups which are configured on various ADCs discovered by the ADM service. Here you can see it shows the instance name where it is configured, the vServer name, the protocol, the IP addresses, and other details. Now these all, if you see here a small gear icon, if you want to have a view for this table, or you want to see only selective things, you can always select those options from here and it will only show. Like, let's say if I don't want to, I'm not interested in looking out at the uh, partition detail, I can just uncheck it, and as soon as I say done, the view which it will show will no longer have the partition table partition column into it. So couple of options, or rather few options which you see here is as basic as enabling and disabling of the LBV server, meaning what, you don't have to in case you are doing some activity, or uh, whether it is on a production box or on a dev box, or your testing box, if you want to do activity directly from the ADM service, you can do all sort of activities directly from this dashboard. Here you can enable disable the service. You can quickly have a glance onto what are services which are bound there and what are the status of it. You can, even if you have, let's say, made certain changes onto that LBB server entity, and you want to, let's say you have enabled or disabled, or it is down, and you want to have a, or you have made certain configuration changes around number of services being bound, you can always do a poll now by selecting that virtual server, and it will fetch the details and it will reflect immediately. As I said, right, the polling interval is 60 minutes, so any changes you want to reflect immediately, you may have to do those polling from the poll now option. The other option I want to share is the visualizer option, where if you click it, it will show you all the bind points within around that virtual server to perform to serve the application traffic. So let's say if I select this and click on visualizer, it will show me all the entity bind point for that visualizer. So due to some, okay, it's showing now. So it will show me there is one app flow policy bound, there is no responder policy, there is one service which is being bound. So all the details you can have a quick glance in one at one place. Now, Other things, if you want to see, is the stat. You can do a configuration of the changes onto that particular LB V server from same place. As you see, I clicked it. It took me to some all the settings, like what are the various services which are being bound, what all basic settings which you can play around and you can change based on your requirement. All those things are available from here. Now, let's go to the next option, or the last option which you see here is the statistics. It's to view the all the counter data or the statistics, how the this particular LBV service performing. It shows you a quick glance on the graphical ways to show you the transaction, the throughput, the connection, the SSL traffic options. All these are shown. You can select the period of your choice and it will start reflecting the data based on the period you have selected. Now these graphs you can view by 99 percentile, 75th, or you want to see the max, how it has been performing. If you want to see an average throughout the day, you can have the various type of graphs available. And as I said, layout can be changed, and in case you want to export this data, you can always click on export button and you can export either all the graphs which are available. In case you want to export an individual graph and you want to share with someone who is seeking the performance or details of this particular LBV server, you can just click on this and it will download this PDF format for you. And of course you have the option to schedule the report export, and it will do as per time of your choice, and channel or the email or a Slack channel of your choice to forward that. Okay, so let's go back here onto the load balancing dashboard. Now the next is the services. Here if you see, it shows you all the details of the services which are discovered from the all the ADCs. Here also you have options available to enable, disable, check the statistics, poll now if you have made any changes. You can always check to which virtual servers these are bound. So these are cross checks, which buttons which are available to validate. Same way, if you go on to the service group, here you will see the option what are the bound members, or list of multiple services which are available onto it. Like if I click on it, it will show me all the list of bound members. So here, let's say for this one, we just have one server as of now bound, so it just shows me one. If you have multiple, it will start showing up multiple members into that service group. And then as I explained, you have the poll now option. Now, the last one is the server. Servers are the actual indicators which you configure on an LB as a server, pointing to a physical application server present in your backend infrastructure. You have the option pretty much to enable or disable the server, and see where these servers are used to create a service or a service group. And in case you want to, let's say you want to export this virtual server report from here, and anytime you have this again icon available here to export it, whether you want to schedule it or you want to download it immediately. So I wanted to show you that generate report, which I actually sorry, which I talked under the network function. On the very first dashboard, this generate report, how the report looks like. So once you download that report, pretty much it will be showing you the type of virtual server, like whether it is a LBV server, content switch V server, or if you have an authentication V server, it will show up those as well. And then it will show the V server name. Let's say if it is a content switch V server, you will see the content switch V server name, its IP and port, which is separated by hash. And then you will have the target LBV server, and it's if it is a addressable or a non-addressable IP, and then it will show you the list of services. If it has an individual service or a service group, you will see all the service group name and all the hash separated services IPs. You will see all the details here. So as I was telling you, if you click on generate report, this kind of report you get for a quick uh, access for you. Now, so let's get back to the network function. So next, the dashboard I want to take you through is the content switch dashboard, wherein we will be talking about the content switching virtual server, wherein it shows all the content switch servers which are discovered. Here also you have the options to perform basic tasks to enable or disable vServers. Look out for all the target LB servers which are bound to a particular LB server. As you see, I clicked on that particular LB content switch vServer. It shows all the target LBs which are bound here. Same, you have the options to poll now and statistics to view all the stats of that particular content switch vServer. Again, as I was highlighting, you have the export option to export these details. But here, as I was showing, the difference between that generate report on the main dashboard and this is, it will only give you the report in a PDF or a JPEG or a CSV format, depending upon what you choose. Only the report which you're showing, which it is showing here under this table. Okay, the other option, as I was talking about, you have the option to see the cache direction vServers, which you have a couple of basic tasks to perform is enable, disable, poll, and stat check the stats of it. So pretty much all the entities, if you see, I was talking about are covered here, whether it is an authentication virtual server. Again, you have the same options available here, whether it is a GSLB vServer, where you have the options available to see all the virtual servers, these services which are actually the target LB servers to which you want to divert the traffic based upon the domain resolution to that IP. And then you have this, if you have a service group configured for those target LB servers, it will show up here. And the last option here you see is the domains, where it shows the domain which are configured across various different ADCs under GSLB vServer. So if you see, as one we have configured as test.test.com, it shows which instance it is present. So these reports also you can always export by selecting this domain, and if you click export, you can export this in a CSV format. You have the options for the Citrix gateway. This entity also, it shows you, the name of the vServer, the host name, and it shows if you have a custom port or use for the Citrix Gateway vServer, it will show up here. You can perform basic steps like enabling or disabling the virtual server, poll now, and stats. The configuration and all, you have to still go and perform it from there, or you can, as we were talking about, you have another feature called as config jobs, where which you can do pretty much everything on towards the ADM using the ADM service towards the ADC. Then you have the auditing tab, where in case you're on any of these entities, if you want to have just the filtered view for across these entities, any audit logs, syslog messages, as we have not configured anything in last 30 minutes or a 1 day, you may not be seeing those data here. But if anybody changes anything or any configuration done across any entities, you will have all those details here, and you can always search once it shows here based upon the event type, and all those options are available here. So this pretty much concludes the quick walkthrough over what basics of network function dashboard available under infrastructure. I hope you like this section. With this, we conclude the webinar for today.